So hello everyone, we're going to change a little bit. Now we're going to go into secondary education. My name is Ana Perez and I work in a high school in Ribarroja, which is in Valencia in Spain. And I've been teaching secondary education for 5 years. I'm working there those 5 years. And last year, my colleague Marlene and I, we started an exchange that we're continuing this year. Marlene works here in the Nuenen College. So the exchange took place between my high school and her high school. The title of the presentation that we selected is Teachers' Goals versus Pupils' Goals, Language Acquisition versus Instagram Accounts. So if you're wondering why we selected this title, sorry, I was not on camera. If you're wondering why we selected this title, let me tell you a little bit before about our last year's experience that we had in the virtual exchange. So we decided to work with 2 groups of second year, which meant that our students were between 13 and 14 years old, so they were quite young. When we started the exchange, we thought, okay, so what do we want to work with them? What are they interested in? So we gave them a survey. And the idea that came from the survey is that they're into sports. It could be expected, but we saw it, so that's why we decided to do our tasks and our exchange focused on the topic of sports. We decided to do, because we started it at the middle of the year, so we had time to do emailing and video calling. Our students researched about sports that were traditional in their region or in their country, and then they at the beginning, I mixed it. The emailing, it was the classic, what they say. They introduced themselves, they talked about themselves, about the culture, about things like that. My students sent 2 emails, and they received other 2 emails. And they really liked it, even if it's something that we may think, okay, emailing is not something that fun. But kids are not used to email. In fact, they write all the text at the top, or they do very weird things, and you have to teach them. So that enhances their digital competence, because sometimes we think that we're thinking, oh, wow, all these things, but then the very basic things, you just go with them to a room, and they don't know how to do them. And they learned how to write an email, and they were very excited, like, when I'm getting my email, because they are used to WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, everything is so immediate, and they had to wait maybe 2-3 days for an email, 4 days. So they were like, my God, mine is not replying. I got a reply. And they were like, how is this fair? Wait, patience. And then we move into video calling, the video conferences. Here, we had very high expectations because we thought it was very engaging for the students. It was like, finally, they are going to meet their peers. They are going to see how they are, because at the beginning they were like, is it going to be a boy? Is it going to be a girl? I wanted to be a boy. They wanted to be, they were very flirty. They wanted to, they're teenagers. Hormones are working there. So we thought it was a great idea, and it worked, but we discovered that it created also mixed feelings. When we did the video conferencing, a lot of the times when we were doing it, the Dutch students sometimes were not feeling very appealed to appear on the video conferencing. So sometimes they just move a little bit outside of the camera, and the Spanish students were in the middle and they couldn't see their peers. So we saw that they were shy and they didn't want to show their face. But even if we had this tiny problem, the exchange worked perfectly. And in fact, we wanted to show you an example of a clip. And that's why we named our presentation after this video. And we have 2 Dutch students and 2 Spanish students. And the Spanish girl, normally in class, I had her last year, she never brought the books. She didn't want to participate. She was not into English. And I want to show you how excited she is and how is she interact. Her level is not very good, but take into account that we're talking about a person that generally in class doesn't want to interact, doesn't want to participate, or sometimes doesn't even bring the materials.
What do you use Snapchat? Don't have Snapchat.
Oh.
I have Instagram. Cállate. What? Ellen?
So now that's what I say. Wait. And he leaves the room and he's going for a notebook to write. Wait.
One moment.
One moment. One moment. Look at the resources they are trying to use. Now she doesn't know how to say it, and look what she does.
You can type in the chat.
You can type on the chat, what?
You can type in the chat. I have text.
You look.
No. No veo.
Que la teacher, ¿qué?
I cannot see it. Can you see text?
Que no hacía. No chat. L.
Can you text in the chat?
L.
Can you text in the chat program?
¿Qué significa testing the check? Es que no lo entiendo. Repeat.
Can you text in the chat?
Can you write in the chat? Sí. Ok, one moment. El chat está aquí. Vale. ¿Cómo se pone barra? ¿Cómo se pone? Capaz que voy. Te despegues. La verdad no sé si. Vale, para. Ahí. Que no, empieza a saltar. Oh, pues ahora voy. Joder.
No.
Otra vez.
Oh, Lola.
Joder. Así. Vale. Ok. Ya está. ¿Y arroba?
So as you see, they were for a long time. She didn't know how to make that clear, but she was using all the resources. She was using the peer, she was using me, she was trying to make herself understood and give him the Instagram account. And in the end, they succeeded. And she was, in class, if I would have given her a task, she would have said, no, I'm not doing it. So, and you see, they're having a lot of fun. They're laughing all the time. They are really enjoying themselves. So even if sometimes we saw that they were shy, as you can see, it can work for a very wide variety of students. So we saw that, we reflected a little bit, and we thought, what possibilities do we have for next year? And we decided that a good way to improve what we had would be virtual reality and augmented reality. And that's why this year we're going to be using Frame VR with our students and the classes. So we have decided to ask our students what are their opinions on virtual reality. And the first question I wanted to ask them was if they had any previous experience. Now you're going to see 6 students from Spain talking about their experience if they have any experience in virtual reality. I want you to bear in mind they are young, their English is, good for their age, but they are asked questions that are not normal. So the answers are going to be very short, but I'm sure you're going to.
No, I haven't.
Yes, in the Museum of the Arts and the Sciences.
No, I don't have any experience.
No, I haven't any experience. Yes, when I was little, I had a dear Iron Man headset. No, I haven't.
So as you can see, as the university students, most of them don't have any experience, even if they are used to digital sources, they have access to everything on their laptops, but they do not have any experience. And the ones that have, it's very little. The Museum of the Arts and Sciences is something we have in Valencia, where they go and can do some, but they are saying that they don't have. Then I asked them, what did they think about VR? What were the expectations, their ideas? And these are their answers. Sorry.
I think it's an opportunity to interact with people.
I like because it is a fun way to learn English.
It is a different way to learn English.
I think it's a different way to see the world and interacting.
I think it's fun and interesting to learn English. It's another fun to learn.
So you see, all of them are mentioning it's a different way to learn. They are very focused on English and they want to learn. I think it's a very different way to learn. So after that, we asked them as well, because we were very aware about the previous question that they were a little bit shy. The Spanish ones didn't seem to complain that much. But let's take a look at the video, because I asked them, what do you think about interacting with someone that you don't know face to face? And even if the Spanish didn't mind appearing in the video conferencing, look at the answers.
It's a bit embarrassing, but it's a good idea to learn English.
It was a bit embarrassing. I am shy.
I'm shy, but it's a very opportunity.
I'm a bit shy, but I think it's a good way to improve English and communication.
It was a bit uncomfortable.
So as you see, I mean, they did the task, they put their faces there, but they were feeling very shy and very embarrassed about the activity, because they are teenagers. They are very, very self-aware of how they look, of what impression they are giving to the other person. And then after that, we thought, okay, so would it help you to interact with the stranger if you're using an avatar, a virtual world? And the answers were this.
Yes, because I will feel more comfortable.
Yes, because you feel safer and more secure.
Yes, because you feel more relaxed.
Yes, because you feel more comfortable and safer.
Yes, because I feel more comfortable.
So as you see, their impressions were that they were going to feel more relaxed and more at ease. And finally, the other question that I asked them, what was their opinion about virtual exchanges, like in general? What did they think about this? And this is what they told us.
I thought I will go to the Netherlands and they will come here to Spain.
I'm not a good and funny person.
I was excited. I thought it would be fun to meet Dutch people.
I was excited because I like this type of project.
I thought I was going to the Netherlands. I wanted the other students to be under.
So as you see, when they hear exchange and Erasmus, they always think about moving, and there are many other ways they are doing this, and they are very excited. So it's very nice that we change this perception of just going there and they coming here. So why do we want to use the VR? Because we thought it was a fun and motivating way to do the exchange this year, because it also allows gamification inside a task, and kids love everything that is similar to a game. Because it enhances our students' creativity. As you were saying, they can create their own avatars, so you can customize it. And what better way to reflect how you feel and how you are than creating it, like saying, maybe I don't want to appear there, but if I create my avatar, I'm expressing how I feel myself, how do I see myself, and how others are going to see me. So it's a very nice way for kids to use. They will obviously be less self-aware and feel less anxiety and stress. And as they've mentioned, the climate would be safer for them because they are not showing their faces. And this brings me to something also we started in the presentation. They were talking about Instagram, social media. If you think about social media, what do they do in social media nowadays? Like, they really don't show their faces. They select pictures or very concrete things, and they type a lot. They use a lot of audio. And if we think about VR, it's as well audio and typing. So it's very close to what they are used to the social media. Here we also have some impressions of the students because I asked them to go to Villa Charla, that you've heard of it before. It's the Spanish village. Be aware that here they know they are being recorded, and it's a nice performance what they did.
Look, Diego, I am ready. Oh, it's so exciting.
Going to enter the live.
This is great. Yes, I like it.
They knew they knew they were recorded, so they did that. But I can tell you, when they started, they were so excited. Like, I can move here. Look at this. Look at that. They like very, very excited. And I asked them to give feedback, like positive and negative, what things they like and what things they didn't like. And this is what they said.
It's a good game that represents Valencia.
For example, the horchatería and the kiosco. We want more places.
And more examples of food like churros or paella.
And more decoration inside the houses.
So this is something that the university once said, that it surprised me when you were saying it. I mean, they're kids, they want lots of things, more things, but in general, they really liked it. What are we going to do this year? We decided to select a very different topic, that it's environment, because it's in their curriculum. And nowadays it's like it's in the news, on the media, everywhere, and we think they can talk about it. And sorry, it's not okay. Okay, so we have 5 VR glasses per group, and we think that's manageable, because if we put glasses to all the kids, that can be very chaotic. We have many students in the class, and that can be crazy. So 5, it's very manageable, and we can do it. And we've decided that, as they said, VR has many options, but what we decided to go for, it's like a sort of presentation inside the virtual world. So what are we going to ask them? Here, there's a virtual world, but we don't have time. So you'll see some of the worlds in the workshop that you're going to have now. But we decided that they research about environmental issues in their area, in their houses, all the information that they can get. And in pairs, a Dutch student and a Spanish student, they have to create a presentation. They can choose whatever format they want. It can be a Padlet, it can be a video, and then put it in the virtual world. And then what they will do is go around, move around the environment, and check what the others have done and discuss it and see what similarities, what differences they find, what shocked them the most. So in that way, they see what the others have been doing. And here, before we finish, my students wanted to say a goodbye. They were very excited about the recording. So thank you. So if you have any questions,
And maybe in the online audience, there are some questions. How much sessions do you have planned this year?
So we wanted to do it like quite long, because we saw that the email thing worked. So we want to start with emails again. And when I told them, like, we're starting with emails, they say, oh, okay, good now, because they know I'm working with the same group. So they were very at ease of doing something that they did last year. Then a little bit as well of video conferencing, and then the virtual world. So we were thinking, as many lessons as we could. But as most of you may know, sometimes matching timetables with other countries is super complex and very difficult. And for the synchronous tasks, we'll have to see how it goes during the year.
How did you manage to do that? To synchronize the timetables or to find time slots that were suitable?
So that's very difficult. I know that in some schools, teachers have their hours and they have to stick to those. Luckily, in my school, they've been very supportive. And when I told them, like, okay, I have a free hour now, I check the hour that my peer Marlene gave me, and I told my colleague. So now they are in history. So I went to the history class and I said to my colleague, Andres, do you mind if I take some of the kids out now, because we're going to do this task? And they were very nice and very lovely. So all my colleagues allow me their time to do my project, and they say no trouble, take them as many time as you need to. So, but I think that needs to be like, you have to have nice colleagues, and the school needs to help you. But I mean, when my colleagues ask me for things, I also help them. So I mean, if the environment and the school is nice, I think it can work very, very well.
Okay, so you need to be a little bit flexible. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Because it's very difficult. Imagine your hours of English are on Mondays at 12, and the others are on Mondays at 9. So how do you make that time difference? So
For synchronous tasks, yes.
yeah. But if you want to the synchronous ones that are the ones that you really enjoy, you need to be there. Yeah.
Okay. Other questions? What else schools do to help teachers do these projects, right? Okay. Or how can schools support you or teachers?
My school, what they've done is that whatever I needed the hour to move around, they said, okay, good, we help you here. Or if you need someone, a teacher who is like doing surveillance, that teacher can go with you. So I think it needs to be something that the head of the school and all the people say, okay, we're going to do it together. Because if not, if you have two very rigid timetables and no one can be flexible, you're going to make a lot of tasks, but asynchronous. The synchronous ones are going to be nearly impossible. But I think it depends on how the school says it. My school, it's like, I told them it's a very nice opportunity. Think about kids, because we do lots of Erasmus, but in the Erasmus, we pick students. So not all students have access to those programs. And we're taking 15, and normally you take the good ones, because you know that they are not going to behave badly outside, that they are going to make the most of it. But in these ones, look at the girl that I showed you in the video, all of them participate. I mean, even in my school, we have like a big community of gypsy students who sometimes come to class and sometimes don't. And the one that I had that year in my class, he was participating and I was helping him. And normally in class, he didn't do like a lot. So telling that to the head of the school, saying like, look, it's like a very good project. Kids are really going to benefit from it. And it's going to make them want to learn more, to continue with the English lessons. Because I think English, and maybe you don't agree with me in this, but I think in Spain, at least, it's not a subject that kids are passionate about.
And that
it's like a
very good question for the round table at the end of this day's program. Yeah.
So I think, English needs to be promoted in some way. I mean, maths and English, kids hate.
We have the next question, Tom.
Follow this up. Can I conclude that you consider this practice sustainable also outside the context of the project?
Is the project sustainable outside this project?
I think so, because once you have the connections, and once you know how it works and you can do the video conference and everything, you can do it on your own. You don't need a coach. They're being super helpful. But once you know how it works, it's like when you prepare, once you've done your lessons, you know how it works. So I think once it's there, it's just saying, okay, I have this contact. So I'm going to work. I have contacts here in the Nuenen College. So I'm going to write them at the beginning of the year and saying, this year I have these groups. What groups do you have? And you start planning it together. I think it's just starting with it. And once you see that, okay, it's not that bad, you can repeat it as many times as.
And also you have many tasks already available in several languages, right?
And you don't need to create them. So you say, because sometimes what you were saying, if you're a teacher, you have lots of hours, you correct lots of exams, then you have personal life. But if you say, okay, I don't feel like doing a task, you go there, you have plenty of resources. So there's no need to even to create a task. You just, okay, so they like sports. So the one of sports that we did, it's available. You download the one of sports and you do it.
And it's not only available for English, but also for German, for French, and for Spanish.
So all the languages.
Just saying.
Yeah, that it's sustainable. Yeah, that even if we're not here, they are not here, and we're not here anymore, we can continue on doing it.
But we are very proud of our teachers. Yeah.